That's what we want.
That's what we
want. All right, so here we are. There were no trade offers, so Green Bay is picking pick 23. Let's just do a quick little recap, if it'll allow us to. Actually,
do we want to try and trade back?
We could do that. We could try to trade back if you wanted to. Best available on the board right now for us is in the 17 spot, Jihad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. In the 18 spot, Mike Green, edge defender out of Marshall. 19 spot, Colston Loveland is sitting there. I'll just go ahead and tell you, based off of who's on this short list right here, Colston Loveland is hands down the best prospect on the board, according to our board. Matthew Golden in 20 spot, Malachi Starks at safety, Josh Simmons at offensive tackle. I love how random this is because I have not seen a draft kind of fall like this. Yeah. So what positions would you boys like to see here at pick 23? We got a lot of needs. We got corner. We got offensive line we need depth at. 3-tech, we've talked about it all offseason. We'd love to just get an absolute stud at 3-tech. Edge defenders being on Goody's radar. There's a lot of different directions we could go. What do y'all want to see here?
I don't know about you, Tim, but I don't like this grouping of players right now. If I was forced to stick and pick, I think I would begrudgingly pick Colson, and I don't necessarily
I would
like
probably
that
go
pick.
Colston Loveland or, even Matthew Golden might be a reach at 23. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got Colston Loveland in the 11 spot, boys. Yeah. I know we talk about, and listen, Colston Loveland's met with the Packers, right? That's a fact.
Draft him. Shavink will be so happy.
I'm just trying to think, like, how could this play into the offense? Yes, we need a receiver, but if you go get the second best tight end in the draft because he fell to you all the way down to the 23rd spot, it's tempting. It really is. I don't like it on the surface. But if we were sticking to the board, Colston Loveland would definitely be the pick. If we go on down the list here, just looking at our PTA big board, let me flip this over so I can look at both at the same time. Colston Loveland in the 11 spot. Jihad Campbell would be in the 21 spot. That would be worthy of the 23rd pick. Mike Green here, boys, he's sitting in the 20 spot, but we know we get that purple box there from 2024, man. There are some character concerns. Now, listen, there's no way Goody takes him without doing their due diligence and finding out, hey, look, we're okay with taking him. So it's hard for us. I don't know how you guys feel, but it's hard for me to pull the trigger on Mike Green, not knowing if that's going to check out with Goody and his staff. You know what I mean?
That guy's got Detroit Lion written all over him, man.
All right, we'll pass up then.
Can you scroll down a little bit just to see who's below Simmons?
Sure will. Matthew Golden we've got in the 37 spot. Malachi Starks is in the 23 spot. Josh Simmons, where are you at? So we got him in the 24 spot. That wouldn't be a bad pick either. Attack.
There we go.
So you got Tyler Booker in the 27 spot. On our big board, Tyler Booker is actually a little lower. We got him in the 39 slot. Derek Harmon, defensive tackle, has climbed up the board a little bit today with the Greg Cosell 3-point bonus. 25th on our big board. And then we've got Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan is in the 18 spot on our big board right here. If we were going off our board, Walter Nolan would definitely be the pick behind, like we said, Colston Loveland. So that's the two I would put it in range on. What do you guys think? Who would you like
to trade back to 27 or something, or right? Trade back a few spots.
You want to try it?
It wouldn't hurt to try.
Let's see what we got here. So you're saying maybe trade back to pick 27?
Something like that.
Of course, we can't tell who's got 27. Oh, yeah, we can, can't we? Who's got 27? Let's see here. So it'd be like Baltimore. Let's see if we could trade back with Baltimore and what we could pick up here. I like this. So we give up 23. We're going to go to 27, right?
Take 91.
Let's see if they'll give us 91. Ooh, I think you're going to do it.
Looky here.
You like it, boys?
I like it.
All right, let's trade back, pick us up a third-round pick.
Did they do it?
They did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look at that.
So my God. Now who do we have at 20? Look at this.
Wait, what?
Look at this. So, now go get your let's get our
Walter
he's gone. I thought okay.
So trading back 4 spots cost us Walter Nolan, who's a better defensive lineman according to our board. However, if you look at Walter Nolan's grade on our board, a 19.9 was the grade, and Derek Harmon is a 24.7, so he's just one tier lower. Would be Derek Harmon. So Derek Harmon, if you're going 3-tech, he's hands down. That's the dude to take right here. However, you still got Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden a little bit lower on our board. It's got to be Colston Loveland, Mike Green, or Derek Harmon, boys. What's the pick here?
I'm voting for Derek Harmon out of those three.
Okay.
I think I'd go Harmon, but it is crazy that Green and Loveland would be a steal right here.
It would, man. And again, if I guarantee you, man, if you're sitting there at 23, you trade back a few spots, and Mike Green's still there, and he checked out with Goody's, intel. Man, I mean, didn't he lead college football in sacks? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, yes, he did.
It's tough to pass him up, but man, that's some serious allegations. And again, we walked through it, Tim, and we came away going, kind of feels like there's a little smoke there.
Yeah.
We got to put the purple box in. So, all right, let's take Derek Harmon here. Everybody good with it?
We is there any corner? Do we look at any corners? Is it
Let's
like,
take a look
can we
at
just
corner.
take a glance? Like who's the
Ooh,
Yeah, you
Trey Amos.
Yeah. As a Ray Thomas, you got Trey Amos, Benjamin Morrison, Darian Porter, Jacob Parrish. So obviously Jade Barron's long gone.
yeah?
Trey Amos is the main one that I would want there, but that would be a reach.
Well, I was going to say, but
Maybe he's there at 54. You never know.
Could be.
oh,
All right, so
boy.
we're going Derek Harmon, boys, at the pick.
Yeesh.
All right, let's go Derek Harmon. You guys keep an eye on the chat for me, too, in case the super chat goes. So, after trading back to the 27th pick, the Green Bay Packers are going to select Derek Harmon, defensive lineman out of Oregon. All right, really like that pick. That's one of the better pass rushers. Again, I like Walter Nolan a lot more personally than Derek Harmon, but I don't feel bad about that pick at all. So, all right, here we are at pick 54, best available, Darius Alexander.
You got to go back to oh boy.
Look at that. Just like I said. Love it.
Oh no.
Oh no, wait. What happened? Did he disappear?
It comes
No.
down to Trey Amos or Jaden Higgins or Trey Harris.
No. You're on wide receiver.
Yeah, go over to all.
No, Trey Amos is. I'm just saying that's what it comes down to: is Trey Amos, Jaden Higgins, or Trey Harris. Which one do you want of those? Trey Amos is there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've also got Jaden Higgins or Trey Harris. So
I see you got to go Amos and see if Higgins falls for us. We either take Higgins or Harris. at
Higgins
50.
ain't falling.
All right.
There's
Oh, I'm
no
sorry.
way Higgins is on the board at 87.
No, I read it
doubt it.
wrong.
So that's that. I was asking you guys a question. Would you rather have Trey Amos
No, it's
Or-
Amos here.
or
for
Jaden
sure.
Higgins? Amos.
It's Amos. Yeah.
Amos.
Looks like it's unanimous in the chat. Well,
Yep.
yeah, we got Legion in there said Higgins, and then he probably stepped out when he seen all the Amos votes come through. Chris the Casual Win says Higgins too. So yeah, I believe you guys are outvoted. I'm not disagreeing with the Higgins pick here. Like I can see that totally, right? The fact that there's two of them there, I see where Jacob's coming from. Maybe one will fall, either Trey Harris or Higgins will fall a little further. There's definitely only one corner that you would take right here, in my opinion, though. So let's go Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. Love that pick. All right, now here we are with our one of our 2 third-round picks here, and best available on the board is tight end Elijah Arroyo. Then we got Braden Swinson. Oh my God! Isn't it cool to see these names pop up? The ones that we covered on our article last night. So Braden Swinson in there, Cameron Scatterbo, Demetrius Knight, Jalen Noel.
Can we look at receiver? All the receivers? Who else is up there? See, look, Noel or Royals. I like either of those right there.
I like coming back to at Torrey Horton maybe at some point. Otherwise, can we look at edge?
Mm-hmm. If you got Braden Swinson.
Braden Swinson, Ashton Giot. That's true.
Yeah. Let's see where Braden Swinson is on the board now as it's shuffled around a time or 12 here. So let me do a quick little search. Braden Swinson. We got Braden Swinson in the 86 spot. All right. We have got Jordan Birch in the 66 spot. So we've got Jordan Birch significantly higher. So Jordan Birch would actually be the better edge defender of those two. So remember,
What about Ashton?
Jordan Birch at 66. And then what are you talking about? Ashton Galot here, is that right? Or Jalot, however you say it. Ashton. He is in the 53 spot, so he's even higher. So you got
I like him a lot.
53 spot. Just make a little note here. So he's hands down the winners so far, right? So now if we go back to wide receiver, we just literally got through talking about Jalen Noel, didn't we? Now, I think we locked him in the 4th round, though, didn't we? Yeah, we got him in the 104 spot, so this is a bit of a reach there. Jalen Royals might be a little bit different story. Jalen Royals, we've got in the 80 spot. So
we could go with Jacob's idea, though, and wait. We'd probably miss them, but we could probably get Torrey Horton, at 91 or 124.
We could definitely get Galot with the 91st pick. That would definitely happen, right? So I don't like taking him with 87 when we got 91 in our back pocket. So let's just pencil him in for the 91 spot, seeing how high he is on our board, right?
Okay.
So with Braden Swinson, I don't think you're going to go back-to-back edge. I mean, you don't have enough room in the edge room, right? So what other position are we maybe overlooking?
O-line, probably.
Yeah, maybe offensive tackle, right? Nothing looks too appealing.
Holland Pierce.
Let's see
big
where
man.
Holland Pierce, we got in the 180 spot.
Oof.
There's a Johnny we got in the 102 spot. Logan Brown, we got way down in the basement. Let's look at interior real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, Charles
Grant.
Charles Grant. There's a guy.
Charles Grant in the 69 spot. Boys.
See, there's value right there.
He's
69 on our board, you said?
Yes, sir.
We take him at 87.
Then Caleb, man, that would be. I think that's the pick here, boys. I think we go Charles Grant right here out of William and Mary, and then we come back
Ashton.
And we get our edge. Yep,
I like it.
I like it too.
All right, let's go Charles Grant here at 87, and then the fact that we traded back, what that earned us was we still got Derek Harmon in the 1st round, but it also allows us to grab Ashton. Do you guys know how to pronounce the name? That's another one we need to figure out how to pronounce.
I thought it was Galot, but
Galot.
I don't know, man.
Let me write it down here just so I can.
Or Guillot or something like that.
Yeah, it could be a little Spanish. The double L turning into a Y.
Yep.
See what you did there, sir. All right, there we go. We're going Ashton Galot with the 91st pick. And again, if you're wondering, well, Clayton, he's 114 on that board, right? Well, according to our PTA big board, he is actually in the 53 spot. This is great value right here. And again, he's not going to be there at 124. And if we tried to trade back 10 picks, we could probably pick up another pick, but I think we just do it here. So
yeah,
there we go. Ashton Galot with the 91st pick. I'm liking this draft, boys. We're hitting a lot of needs here. Derek Harmon could be the 3 tech of the future to line up alongside Devontae White.
Look at that.
Trey Amos with the 54th pick. That helps the cornerback room. You go interior offensive line with Charles Grant, and then you get your edge defender to kind of add some more depth there. So
let's grab us a wide receiver now.
I thought you were going to say Tyler Shuck. I was going to go, oh no, Tim going to get us canceled out here. Seriously, first, this is the reason we highlighted the Tyler Shuck article. Think about what Greg Cosell said. If Tyler Shuck ends up being the 2nd best quarterback in this draft, could you imagine getting him at pick 124 if it were to fall this way? And if you knew he was going to be the 2nd best quarterback in the draft, the value there, potential trade value in long term as well is pretty wild. So what did you guys say you wanted to see here first?
I'd like to see wide receiver, please.
Torrey Horton. Got the spot out, have we? All right, let's see where Torrey Horton is on our board. I know you guys love him, don't you?
Yep.
We got him in the 118 spot. Okay.
How about Ty Felton?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Ty Felton, 142. Dante is way down the list at 276. Pat Bryant's the one that grabs my attention. We got Pat Bryant in the 126 spot. So it looks like it would
get him at 159, right?
Probably could. If we go Torrey Horton here, man, he's in the 118 spot on our board, so that's good value at 124. What other position are we going to look up at 3 more picks from now and go, daggum it, we didn't cover the bases there? What comes to mind?
Linebacker. Let's look at stackbacker.
You got stack back. Oh, there's stuff.
Look at that guy right there.
Oh man, let's see. Danny
Studsman.
He's in the 94 spot for us too. He would definitely.
Here's the guy. Jacob's pissed right now. He's like, oh man.
I miss out on his wide receiver if we take him, right?
No, I don't mind. It's just I feel like Danny Stutzman is maybe getting a little too much love lately, where I think a guy like Teddy Buchanan is a well-rounded linebacker compared to him that we could possibly get. Mm-hmm. Plus, you got Jay Higgins below him, which I know he had concrete shoes on running that But
Yeah, see, we got Teddy Buchanan in the 210 spot on our board.
do you?
Yeah, his PFF grade, he solid PFF grades in 22 and 23, but in 24 he dropped back to he was the 120th graded linebacker, and the consensus big board at the end of the college football season had him in the 325 spot. The RAS is through the roof. Don't get me wrong; he scored a 9+, but
I think the argument for Horton is pretty good though, because the further down we go here, the picks are going to get a little slimmer at receiver.
Yeah,
I mean, Pat Bryant might be there. Ricky White's another guy I looked at.
I feel like he's the last of the true. I don't want to call him a true X, but like a big bodied, ran the 4.4, absolutely runs every single route on the route tree. Looks like he's got good yak. Sounds like he was a great guy in the locker room. To me, just seems
he's coming off injury though, right? Is he? If I remember correct,
it was a minor injury. If I believe I'm correct.
Okay.
yeah, we don't have anything on him in terms of an injury. I don't think, Tim, on the board. And typically we kind of
He definitely must have, because he only played 5 games
last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he must be healed up, is what I'm saying, or else we would have.
Or we'd have a note on that. Okay. Well, then I got no problem taking Torrey Horton here.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Stutzman is hands down higher on our board by about 20 spots. But like you guys pointed out, if you don't take Torrey Horton here, and listen, I like Pat Bryant, great against man coverage, great hands, right? The problem is he's not high enough on our board to justify that. So Torrey Horton feels like, again, where are we picking? 124? Let me talk myself into this real quick. Yeah, he's 118. He's 118 on our board, so that's good value according to our board. So
up until this last year when he played only 5 games, he had over 1,000 yards. He had 1,100 in 2022. He had 1,100 in 2023. He had a drop rate of 3.8%. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Let's go. We're going to go Torrey Horton, wide receiver out of Colorado State with the 124th pick.
That's an A+.
A+. Knocked it out of the park. All right.
Right.
So again, just a quick recap of this draft so far. We have, with the 27th pick, we traded from 23 to 27, picked up an extra third-round pick. We drafted Derek Harmon, defensive lineman out of Oregon. 54, we went Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. 87, we went Charles Grant, offensive lineman out of William and Mary. 91st, we went Ashton Gallott out of Louisville, edge defender. And then with 124, we went Torrey Horton, wide receiver out of Colorado State. So there we go. Brian Ellis with the update. Horton had an ACL injury, but he killed it at the combine, so I'm not worried about it.
There you go. Perfect.
So that's why we removed. I remember we had a red box, Tim, and we removed it.
Okay,
So
that's what I was thinking of then.
that's, man, you got a memory like an elephant, bro. I can't remember what I eat for lunch. You knew, hey, wasn't there an injury there? So, all right. What do we want to look at here, gents?
Oh,
Is Elijah Badger still on the board?
Yo,
Tim,
Danny, you gotta get my boy Danny.
Yeah.
Oh, now you want Danny Stubbs.
He's your boy.
Yes.
Love
Now
him
I
the whole
do.
Run the card, drive.
A+.
Let's go.
Give it to me.
Run it down there.
Danny Stutzman, linebacker out of Oklahoma. This is, I agree, man. Clint said, listen, I'm an armchair quarterback here, and this is looking pretty good, boys.
Noel Williams,
Noel
run it
Williams.
up. Run it up.
Here's
Let's
the
go.
guy.
All right, let's do a little research, and now we're getting out of control. All right, let's see where we got some of these guys at. So at the top of the list, Sebastian Castro. Then you got Chase Lund. I want to say Chase is fairly high. Chase is 85th on our board, boys.
What?
That would be great value. Noel Williams is 173. Connor
It wouldn't be
Cole.
bad to take a tackle. I mean, we went interior O-line.
Yeah, Chase Lunt would be an absolute steal right here. In my opinion, trying to see who else is on here.
Yeah,
There's-
I mean he's
there's
a
Peggy.
pure right tackle, but other than that, dude.
Where do we got Pegues on our board? We got Pegues. Yeah, he's lower, 190, 198. So this has got to be him, right? This has got to be our boy Chase Lunt out of UConn, right?
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I
He's-
think it's a good pick.
he's a big man.
Get ready for an A+ right here, boy. At least an A. Chase Lunt, offensive tackle, UConn. There you
A+.
go. Yeah,
Look
we're.
at
I'm really liking this draft, man. You're
I
building.
really- this is amazing. Yeah.
You got you a linebacker that's just an absolute dog in the run game.
Ooh.
Really like it. All right. Best available now at pick 237. We got linebacker Nick Martin out of Oklahoma State. We got cornerback Jabbar Muhammad out of Oregon. Then you got Jai Joyner, edge defender out of Minnesota. Linebacker Cody Simon out of Ohio State. Mello Dotson, I think, is fairly high on our board, and we've only taken one corner. I feel like we've got room for at least 2 if Ja returns, 3 if he's gone. Let's see what we got here with Melo. Now, Melo's in the 182 spot on our board.
Where do you have Jabbar Muhammad?
Jabbar Muhammad. I want to say he was lower. Let me double check, though.
I think he was a little undersized, but he graded out pretty well, if I remember correctly.
We got him in
did.
We got him in the 233 spot. He was 152nd in his position, it looks like.
Okay.
Melo Dotson is in the 182 spot, which it picked 237. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. Is there any other specific? Look at what we drafted, guys. We went 3-tech, corner, O-line, edge, wide receiver, linebacker, O-line. What are we lacking here? It kind of feels like another corner, does it not? That what we need?
Yeah.
Let's say either another
corner or another receiver or something. Trenches.
Oh, look at my boy Thor. Oh, yeah.
You love Thor, don't you? Again,
I really do.
Every time you bring it up to, I'm like, hey, where do we got Thor? Yeah, we got him in the 139 spot.
That's a great deal, man.
So where do we got Melo? Melo's at 182. So Melo's going to be gone before Thor, right? I don't know if he'll be there at 250, but where is Melo? I think we've narrowed it down. Yeah, Melo would definitely be gone. And we got a chance of getting Thor with the final pick. What
about Elijah Huzzy?
Let me see where Jalen Smith is real quick. Jalen Smith, 211. You said Elijah Huzzy, right?
Yeah, what a Huzzy.
ALIJ. We got him at 286. So he's pretty far down.
Coach Len wants to look at tight ends.
Yeah. Look at tight end.
Oh, yeah, man.
Wonder if Aronde, did he make it this far?
That would be nice.
We got Jermari Harris. He's 249 on here. We got him at 138. So we got him and our boy
Melo.
That we just talked about. Who's that? Melo. Yeah, Melo. We got both of those pretty decent grades there. So we got a couple corners that we like, right? He wanted to see what was the position, guys?
Tight end.
Tight end.
Nah. It got ugly quick, didn't it?
Ooh. Yeah, it did.
He got laid early, as they say.
Yeah.
There.
I think we're good on that.
Sorry, Lynn. We passed up on Coast and Loveland, and Mock Draft Database said, we're not cutting you any more breaks.
I'd love it if we take one of those 2 corners and round it out with Thor. That'd be awesome.
So we got it narrowed down then. Do we want to go Melo Dotson or Jermari Harris? I mean, Melo Dotson's significantly higher, right?
Let's go with Melo.
Yeah.
Where do we have Jalen Smith on our board? Real quick.
That's what I was just looking at. I thought we had him higher, Tim. But we actually got him in the 211 spot.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. Again, let's look at it. Melo 182, right? And then Jermari is 136 or 138. So it's Jermari over Melo. Now here's the thing. He's not projected to go until like 249ish, right? What if we just got to listen. It's going to give us a bad grade here. Understand that, because they've got Melo significantly higher at 192. But our board, man, I mean, it's not even close. Jermari Harris is a few tiers high, almost 1 round higher, according to our board. So
Can you check wide receiver just to make sure we're not missing anything that we should be looking at? Efton, Chisholm,
Jalen Lane, Kobe Hudson. The only one that I would want, and we will always get a bad grade for. Actually, I don't know if you noticed this, Tim. Have you noticed that Elijah Badger has all of a sudden started going way sooner?
Yep.
He gone.
We talked about him 2 weeks ago, right? Yep. On the show. And now all of a sudden you heard Baz. And I'm not saying Baz heard us. I promise you, he did his own research. But the secret's out the bag. Elijah Badger might be a 3rd or a 4th round pick, honestly. So we remember, Tim, we were always reserving that pick 250 for him.
Yep. And he may not be there.
Fun and games are over, boys. Everybody's caught on. So I think it's what we got to do. Again, the grade's going to look bad, but man, getting Jermari Harris at pick 237 would be absolutely awesome. So let's do it. We're going Jermari Harris. They're going to give us a C. Disregard that. They don't know what our board looks like. And then defensive line.
Yeah, we got to go get Thor now.
Yeah, Thor. This is going to be another one, probably a bad grade too. But again, when you look at Thor on our PFF big board, he's in the 139 spot. He's higher than Jabari Harris.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Where's Cam Horsley on our board?
Cam Horsley. Let's take a look.
Horsley.
Cam Horsley is 289, Tim. 289.
Yeah,
the main thing that hurt him was the consensus big board at the end of the year, 356.
Yeah,
Other than that,
let's take a shot at Thor here.
I think
I
so
agree.
too. We're going to go defensive lineman out of Louisville, Thor Griffith. Gave us a D+, but hey, man, they don't know what you're talking about. Hey, we got a lot of good, solid talent there, man. I'm going to save this one. And again, here is the recap of the mock draft with the 27th pick. Again, we traded from 23 back to 27. We picked up pick 91, a third rounder. We took Derek Harmon with the 27th pick, pass rushing interior defensive lineman out of Oregon. With the 54th pick, I love that. Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. Sign me up. Charles Grant at pick 87, so we shored up the offensive line a little bit out of William and Mary. With that 91st pick that we picked up by trading pick 23 back to 27, we grabbed edge defender Ashton Gallant out of Louisville. 124, we went wide receiver Torrey Horton out of Colorado State. Love that pick. Danny Stutzman, linebacker out of Oklahoma at 159. 198, we go Chase Lunt, offensive tackle out of UConn. 237, we went Jermari Harris, cornerback out of Iowa. And then, of course, with 250, we rounded it out with Thor Griffith, defensive lineman out of Louisville.
Pretty good work.
Not a bad draft at all.
It does highlight the need, in my opinion, to really consider going receiver early or early-ish. Round 1 through 4 seems to be, your best chance at getting one of those top-tier guys. Not a knock on Torrey Horton at all. No. I think it's a great pick, but we clearly doubled up on corner. We were able to, shore that up. But if we were thinking of double dipping at wide receiver in this draft, you got to get one early and then try and hit again late.
Yeah. And again, we didn't take into consideration, are the Packers interested in these prospects? We went strictly off the big board, right? Yeah. What we may do is put in the filter for the next mock draft we do and just have, like we did the other day, just the guys that the Packers have met with up to this point. But again, you're kind of you're letting the pendulum swing a little too far in the opposite direction by doing that, because we know the Packers, it's not just like, okay, only the guys they've talked to this year are they going to draft. That's simply not the case. But once those top 30 visits are all in the bag, I'm telling you guys, you can take that top 30 list and you can just about pick. All right. I think last year, and we talked about this before, 10 of the 11 draft picks we had last year. No, 10, here's what it was. 11 of the players on our top 30 ended up on the Packers roster. And the only draft pick that wasn't on the top 30 was Marshawn Lloyd, running back out of USC. So you really can key in on that top 30 and go, man, Goody is using that to make the decision. There's no smoke screen in there. I'm sorry, there's just not. So
I'll tell you what, if Jair is in fact traded or gone, I really like this draft then, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
With the corners,
Definitely. Really, really like the chat's reaction here. Tony Holman, I like it. Brian Ellis, best draft yet. Dead Fish, that's nice getting that extra top 100 pick. It really is, man. If that's how the Rich Hill chart, were to play out, I'd be all about that. Clint says not bad. Gamer Guy says that's a perfect draft. I'd be over the moon if that's what we get. I'm on board with it too. H.E. Soder getting that extra pick was a big deal. It really was. J. Cole says need to. I know y'all like Horton, but we need to get one early. It's a great point. Now, again, what it comes down to, Jay, and this is the question you got to ask yourself as a fan, which would you rather have? Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris, or Trey Amos?
Right.
And again, if Ja's not here, we would all say Trey Amos. If you can guarantee me Jair's on the roster, I'm going Jaden Higgins over Trey Amos, right? Yeah. And people, they say, oh, teams actually do draft by need. That would be like an example of that. You got guys in the same tier, then you do. That's the cluster buster. If you got two guys in the same tier and one's slightly higher than them, but they're in the same tier, you're going to take the position of need all day, right? So, Coach Lynn approves too. I like this draft, boys. This was good. This was fun. So we'll save it into the database here. And anytime we want to go back and look at some of these past mock drafts, we can go take a look. I think what I'm going to do is screenshot it real quick, and I'm going to put it in the Patreon group as maybe a separate article so people can kind of comment in there. Appreciate everybody, obviously, in the Patreon group. So, anything else you want to add before I take this off the screen, fellas? Anything at all?
No, I think great work. Great draft.
There's a lot of fun.